Dr. King had gone to Memphis, Tennessee.
All right, here we go.
2 weeks prior to this, and led a march where violence broke out and some people were killed. That's the only march he ever led, where violence broke out and people were murdered. That's the only march Jose Williams did not organize. We had learned where the violence and how it take place. And if you were back there cussing at the police, and we'd tell you to stop or throwing things at the police, we would throw you out to march to the police and say, now they'd get them. And we had no violence of that sort. And Dr. King came back to Atlanta, and that man was hurt. I don't think he could have been more hurt. And he carried us this meeting, and he just didn't know what to say or what to do. SLC never had any money. We always was broke.
Uh-oh.
And that Saturday, all it was this meeting, and he just didn't know what to say or what to do. SLC never had any money. We always was broke.
Stop. SCLC never had any money. They was always broke. Early in the conversation, he said that he made 10. Martin Luther King made 6. Somebody else made $7,000 per year. Came out just now and told you that SCLC never had any money. It was always broke. Y'all ready to get into it? It's about to get deeper. Here we go.
And that Saturday, all it was, he said, we'll come. We was discussing the Poor People Campaign in Washington.
Uh-oh.
And he said, we're going to Memphis to complete this debate. Why in the hell are we going to Memphis broke?
Oh.
So I just couldn't hardly believe. And he said, we're going to Memphis to complete this debate. Why in the hell are we going to Memphis broke?
One more time.
A campaign in Washington. And he said, we're going to Memphis to complete this debate. Why in the hell are we going to Memphis broke? So I just couldn't hardly believe what he was saying. And that Tuesday, we went to Memphis. And when we went out to the airport that morning, at 9 o'clock, and got on that plane, we always was late. The plane was supposed to depart at 9. We got there about 5 minutes after 9. About one person on that plane. We boarded the plane and took off for Memphis. The pilot apologized and said, even though last night we were required to totally search this plane, he said this morning when we came up to the gate, they wouldn't allow us to put anyone on the plane until we researched the plane. So we went on to Memphis.
Ooh, y'all. Listen to the setup. They set them up.
Even though last night we were required to totally search this plane, he said this morning when we came up to the gate, they wouldn't allow us to put anyone on the plane until we researched the plane. So we went on to Memphis.
Hold up, y'all. Last time, I need y'all to hear this. Listen to the play. This was a purposely done delay. Listen to the timing of how everything went. Purposely done delay to set Martin Luther King and a couple other people up.
They were supposed to depart at 9. We got there about 5 minutes after 9. About one person on that plane.
They got there they were supposed to get there at 9. He said they always get there late. They got there about 5 minutes after 9. Not one person was on that plane.
We boarded the plane and took off for Memphis. The pilot apologized and said, even though last night we were required to totally search this plane.
The pilot told him that even though last night they were supposed to be totally searching that plane,
we was required to totally search this plane. He said this morning when we came up to the gate, they wouldn't allow us to put anyone on the plane until we researched the plane.
They wouldn't allow them to put anyone else on the plane until they researched the plane.
So we went on to Memphis.
Now they went on to Memphis.
We were discussing the Washington movement, Poor People Campaign in Washington.
Poor People's Campaign, y'all.
And that afternoon, we were in the meeting, And someone said, Reverend Billy Kyles is outside and he's upset. And Dr. King said, oh my God, I forgot to tell y'all. I promised his wife, who's supposed to be a great soul food cooker, we'd have our feet on her table at 5:30. Now it's 5:45, and we sit in the meeting. Dr. King said, everybody rush, rush, rush. And get ready in a hurry, let's go. So I ran down and got to my room. My key wouldn't open my door for some strange reason. The limousine that had been loaned to us.
The limousine that had been loaned to us.
I opened my door, I could touch the limousine. And finally I heard the driver tell Dr. King, Dr. King, I advise you get your top coat, because even though I have the car on, it's still chilly.
The driver advised Dr. King to get your top coat, because even though I have the car running, it is still chilly.
And the last words he said in this world, okay, Jonesy, I'll get my top coat. And I heard this thing say, pow! And I honestly thought someone had thrown a firecracker into the air. And I looked around to rebuke whoever was that stupid. And I heard something say, bloop, fell up above my head. And I looked up, and his leg was sticking through the rail. Dr. King only wore one type of sock and one type of shoe. And I knew that was him. I said, oh my God, they got it. And then I had to run about 50 feet down and back up, and I got to him. And Ralph was holding his head, and Andy was there. And a guy from Africa who had been traveling with us as a newsman from Africa. We found out later on he was working for the CIA, no, the FBI, working for the FBI. And he had taken a lot of pictures of Dr. King, and I got deep down and back up, and I got to him. And Ralph was holding his head, and Andy was there. And a guy from Africa who had been traveling with us as a newsman from Africa. We found out later on he was working for the CIA, no, the FBI, working for the FBI.
Posing as a photographer or somebody working for some news station in Africa, huh? Y'all ready to hear some more? And don't this sound familiar? I'm gonna tell you, this is identical to somebody else that you all know. Identical. We're gonna bring it up though.
And he had taken a lot of pictures of Dr. King, and I grabbed him in the throat and started choking him, because the bullet hit Dr. King right here, and it went round and cut his medulla oblongata. And I didn't want people to remember Dr. King with half his face shut off. So Andy ran and got a towel, and somehow or another they took one more picture after I made him.
So he admitted that Martin Luther King's face, half of his face was gone, was shot open. That was a sniper shot, ladies and gentlemen. So anybody out there claiming that Martin Luther King died in the hospital because they suffocated him, don't believe that. And here's another reason why you shouldn't believe that, because the government also has pictures. Don't forget that he went up there and started choking that African guy that was taking pictures of Martin Luther King after he got shot. I'm gonna show you real quick how bad it is. Who you think took this picture? Think about it. This came out. We're gonna talk about it.
That camera, and it shows Dr. King down with a towel on his face. But I'm gonna tell you, I was an expert gunner in World War II. When I ran up on that balcony, and I looked from whence that bullet had to come, the distance of that bullet, and just could feel the wind blowing that day, I said, whomever shot that rifle was one of the best in the world. He shot one bullet. And I believe that Dr. King hadn't moved to go back and get his top coat, the bullet would have hit him between the eyes. The bullet hit him right here. But what happened, and
so that guy that they allegedly had the limousine, the loaner limousine that was set up. He told Martin Luther King to go back. That's when the trained professional sniper was ready to take him out. All right, they set everything up. Oh, Martin Luther King, get your top coat. Go get your top coat. Not nobody else told him to go get it. It's gonna be a little chilly. That was set up.
Then Ralph said, we were going to take him on to the hospital. Jose, you get all the staff together. 3 of us saw it, Dr. King, after he was shot. 3 SLC executive staff members. Andy, Abernathy, and Jose Williams. Those are the three that saw that body. Now listen now. So I got in the yard and I was about to lose my cool because I was thinking if I could take some molecules out there and make me some guns and kill me some white folks. And one man said, now be cool. You're doing the same thing you promised me you'd never do. And I started crying, and then I heard Jesse Jackson say, he told me, Jesse, take our people onto the mountaintop. And that didn't bother me, even though I know Jesse got nowhere near him. And then Jesse said, I held his head in my hand while he died. And that didn't get to me. And then Jesse said, look at my shirt. And I looked around, sure enough, and Jesse Jackson's shirt was drenched in blood. And I realized the only way Jesse could have gotten that blood was stoop down on that floor at the Lorraine Motel and rake that blood off that floor and put that blood on him. And I went crazy. I really tried to kill Jesse. They grabbed us and all that, but that hurt me so bad. The other thing was, when Abernathy came back, says no need of prayer,
I don't even need to repeat that.
No need of nothing. He is gone. It's over with. He's gone to glory. And we call the meeting.
But hold on, let me repeat that part right here when he said Ralph Abernathy
came back, says, and I went crazy. I really tried to kill Jesse. They grabbed us and all that, but that hurt me so bad. The other thing was, when Abernathy came back, says no need of prayer, no need of cry, no need of nothing. He is gone. It's over with. He's going to glory. And we call...
That makes me question Ralph Abernathy. I'm still doing my investigation on Ralph because that was the guy that you always saw right beside Martin Luther King. I'm still trying to find if there were some interviews that happened with Ralph Abernathy after this happened, because he went on ahead and led, the rest of the stuff that Martin Luther King had going on. I can't conclude that Ralph was involved. I can't. But Ralph knew. There's no way he didn't. Something is iffy with Ralph Abernathy. I don't like how that played out. I'm still investigating that part right there on him. Okay? Give me more time with that.
The meeting, a staff meeting, and Jesse claimed to have been ill. And Abernathy told him, Jesse, go ahead to the room and relax. Jesse had to have run like hell that room into that airport because he got out of Memphis to Chicago. All us feeling, everybody was still in the motel. Cut the televisions on the next morning. That was Jesse Jackson in Chicago with that same bloody shirt on, telling that same lie. I've never respected Jesse since that moment. When they shot Dr. King.
Martin Luther King. Jesse Jackson was an opportunist. Some of you guys are going to call him a narcissist. But he thought that was his opportunity, and he took advantage of that to step in and put his face on camera multiple times. Don't forget that Stokely Carmichael did the same thing. But that was his opportunity to step up and tell everybody that Dr. King told him. And I got Dick Gregory's video on Abernathy. I got it. Everything that Dick Gregory did on Martin Luther King, I got it already. In fact, to bring this up, Dick Gregory was the one that called Martin Luther King and told him not to go. And may Unc rest well. Unc was a part of a secret society, the same. Hold on. Let me word this differently. Hold on. Let me word this differently. I forgot I'm on live. Dick Gregory was down with the particular secret society before he left out. No, not Steve. Dick Gregory. No, Dick Gregory was the one that made the call. That's documented. Dick Gregory was on his way out of that society. Okay? They wanted to get rid of him. They wanted to get rid of Martin Luther King. They wanted to get rid of Ralph Abernathy. Okay, now certain people are going to say Jesse Jackson. I got a feeling it was Ralph because they were probably afraid that Ralph was going to say something. This is another reason why I'm questioning Ralph Abernathy. Something ain't right with that. But they were all supposed to be going, not to this meeting, they were all supposed to be going to this dinner that he just mentioned. It was that pastor's, another minister's wife's dinner. And it was supposed to be there at 5:30. And it was at 5:45. And you know, that the guy, what Dick Gregory told you that he moved so the sniper could have a clear shot. Y'all should remember this because I reposted this video years ago on my YouTube channel. That I forgot that pastor's or minister's name, but he said he moved away so he could have a clear shot, and the shot rang out. He actually came out and stated that verbatim. And Dick Gregory had that tape, and basically during that same segment, Dick Gregory was informing you all, yeah, Billy Cow, y'all right, thank y'all. He was informing everyone then, I'm talking about Dick Gregory, that he was the one that made the call to let him know, look, they trying to kill you today, brother. Martin Luther King was already being threatened, okay, multiple times. Okay, but this was the one. This was the one where they set him up. They already knew he was going to be at the Lorraine Motel. They already knew the timing. They already knew the meeting. They already knew that he was supposed to be having dinner later. That was all. And this is the reason why I question Ralph big time, because Ralph knew the schedule also. And it's just odd to me. And I'm gonna still do my investigation on Ralph. I gotta pull more stuff up. I need some stuff on Ralph that's gonna clarify why he was so quiet right there after this point.
When they shot Dr. King, a black guy come running around that corner saying, he went that way, he went that way. James Earl Ray no more killed Dr. King, and I killed him. And everybody knew it. He was a patsy set up.
All right. Now keep that in mind, because I'm about to bring up something that this actually came out in court. James O. Ray was the fall guy. He did not do that. If this is your first time hearing that, I can confirm with hard evidence that James O. Ray did not do that. Now he also said that, now this was the year that this video was done, was in 2000. Let me come back just a tad bit.
A black guy come running around that corner saying, he went that way, he went that way. James Earl Ray no more killed Dr. King, and I killed him. And everybody knew it. He was a patsy set up. And the guy said, went that way, went that way. And said, who went that way? He said, that man ran out that building and dropped the rifle on the sidewalk and jumped in a white Mustang, had a red Alabama tag, and took off. Well, hell, I wasn't worried. That's no car to America look like a Mustang, but a Mustang, a white with red Alabama tag. Where's he going? The police have him like that. And I asked that rifle was left on that sidewalk. That was the rifle that James Earl Ray had purchased, but that was not the bullet that killed Dr. King.
In fact, that wasn't even the rifle that killed Martin Luther King, okay? Now, he was absolutely 100% correct. And before I move on to the other stuff that I'm getting ready to show y'all, that will definitely state that he was absolutely correct. I want to mention that Brother Jose Williams died the same year. This was one of his last interviews. Brother Jose Williams died this exact same year. In fact, if I'm recalling correctly, I believe his wife died that same year also. I believe it was like months before he passed, if I'm recalling it correctly. Y'all could correct me in the chat. It was back to back. Now, let me grab this real quick. All right, so now, okay. Now, y'all may not have heard this before, so let me explain what y'all about to see. The King family ended up suing the U.S. government. It was a civil suit against the government. It was for 1 penny. The King family ended up suing the U.S. government to get the truth out for 1 penny. Civil suit. Because it wasn't about the money. It was about exposing everybody involved. Now, this is the Washington Post, and I just want to show you how it was being reported. And you guys could probably pull this up in the archives of Washington Post. The King family civil suit tries to get the truth. Memphis trial is first in Black leader's death, December 8th, 1999. Page A02. This is real. This is not a game. You can look this up. Now, don't forget that they tried to put it on James O. Ray, but information came out based off of this guy I'm about to show you. Hold on, wait, did I skip it? His name was Jowers. What's his first name? Hold up, wait. Let me see if they say his first name real quick. And this is the guy that drove that Mustang that they saw. The Raul guy drove that Mustang that they saw. But the guy Jowers is the owner, or was the owner, of Jim's Grill, which was a block away, a block from the Lorraine Motel where King was shot. Okay? First spoke of his alleged involvement to a TV or network television news crew in 1993. He has since changed certain aspects of his account since then, once asserting he received $100,000 to help arrange King's slaying. Now, more information came out, and hold on, let me make sure it's not in here real quick before I go over. Yeah, because Coretta King stated some things, and so did his son, Dexter. Let me double check real quick. Okay, all right, so anyway, the point is that the owner of this particular shop was stating that the shot came out from above, excuse me, his restaurant. And this was the guy that did it. There was another guy that used to be with the police department, Memphis Police. Okay, Young said, okay, here we go. Andrew Young, a former U.S. ambassador to the United Nations and former mayor of Atlanta, testified that he believed Jowers' story after speaking with him a year ago. Young said that Jowers told him that King was shot by a gunman, a Memphis police officer, Jowers claimed, who fired from bushes behind the grill. This has changed. You about to see that. I'm about to show you. Then handed the rifle to Jowers through a back door after the job was done. Now, more information came out on who gave them this information. This is the Department of Justice. This is their official website, y'all. Overview of the investigation of allegations regarding the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Hold on, let me calm down because there is a name. So basically what they were trying to do was state that all of the information that they gave, that Jowers gave, and this other guy that I'm talking about, was incorrect, and that James O. Ray was the person. But okay, Lloyd Jowers, and then how many did that claim? There was another. Okay, it was basically an agent that put out more information, and they was trying to discredit that agent. And they say his name. I'm trying to tell y'all, they say his name. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Donald Wilson, a former agent with the FBI. Oh, do you see? Okay. Donald Wilson is the guy, because don't forget that this is their portion trying to state that what Donald Wilson brought to them was incorrect. It was, not creditable. They was trying to discredit all the information that a former FBI agent came forward. Donald Wilson told them. Okay, now it came out, this is Washington Post again, they were trying to stop him from stating that the conspiracy was involving the White House, the CIA, the FBI, Canadian and British intelligence, the Memphis Police, military intelligence, Green Berets, and the National Guard, and the Mafia. I have all of this. I have all of these documents. I have the court records. If y'all want the court records, DM me in the 13% community server. I'll pass them to you. To jump ahead, the U.S. government was found guilty to assassinate Martin Luther King. Now, after 4 weeks of testimony and over 70 witnesses in the civil trial in Memphis, Tennessee, 12 jurors reached a swift, unanimous verdict on December 8th, 1999, that Dr. King was assassinated as a result of a conspiracy. The King family who filed the suit was awarded $100. I need y'all to understand that they ended up winning. Now, initially they were suing basically for 1 penny, but they just wanted this information out. Now, this was on the King's website. Now that King's website is out of there. They took that King's website down. So they do have this backed up, National Archives, and I believe Congress.gov, they do have this backed up, but I've been had these transcripts. I even have the transcripts of these news reports that News One is even mentioning. I have the transcripts of these. Okay, that Coretta Scott. Now, if you read what Coretta Scott said, I'm gonna jump ahead. Important to note that this was swift verdict. Hold on, delivered. Hold on, blah 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 blah. The jury also affirmed overwhelming evidence that identified someone else, not James O. Ray, as the shooter, and that Mr. Ray was set up to take the blame. I want to make it clear that my family has no interest in retribution. Okay? This is not a game. Now, another thing I want to mention, they also purposely did not air this on the news. They did not publish this in the Negro newspapers neither. Like, they forced the Negro newspapers to stop reporting on Martin Luther King a year or a year and a half before his assassination, because that's when he was really adamant about going against the government. Like, look, this is what we need to do. We need to get our lands back. Technically, that's what he was stating. So nobody was really reporting on Martin Luther King for a long time. For a long time. Right. Notice how they said the British government, right? What's the British government involved for? But you got to understand who Martin Luther King was working for. This was a big deal. The SCLC was definitely a government agency, hands down. The SCLC was a government agency, hands down. There's no, I don't care who get mad. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As soon as Martin Luther King said, it was the speech where the one I showed y'all all the time. How'd he start off? He said, at the same time that America refused to give the Negro any land, through an act of Congress, our government was giving away millions of acres of land in the West and the Midwest, which meant that it was willing to undergird its white peasants from Europe with an economic floor. Not only did they receive the land, they built land-grant colleges with government money to teach them how to farm. Not only that, they provided county agents to further their expertise in farming. Not only that, they provided low interest rates in order that they could mechanize our farms. And today, many of these people are receiving millions of dollars in federal subsidies not to farm, and they are the very people telling the black man that he ought to lift himself by his own bootstraps. Now, this is what we are faced with. Now, this is reality. Now, when we come to Washington in this campaign, we're coming to get our check. Now, I know about heart. The Poor People's Campaign was about coming to get, this is the reason why they playing with you with these reparations, talking about something they got to study something. Martin Luther King was forcing the people to look at the land allotments. And they was like, hold up. Well, we got to stop him because too many people listening to him. Millions of people was listening to him. That is the reason why he was assassinated.
I'm just here to make you think.
Slow down. Yeah. Sub up, light up.